Most people in America are obese or overweight. In fact, 73% of America's population already is overweight. Hello, my name is Brianna Hammond, and the rate of obesity in America is growing. Today I will be explaining the problem of obesity and the solution being a tax on all unhealthy foods. First, I'll be explaining the problem of obesity and why it is a problem, and secondly, the solution to the obesity problem and how the fat tax will help decrease this problem. There is a problem in America, and it is growing. This problem being that many people are becoming obese because of how they eat. Although America's diet is based all around processed, unhealthy, and fast foods, which is why people are the way they are, unhealthy and overweight. A tax on unhealthy foods will decrease the obesity rate and hopefully lead people to choose the healthier options and less of the unhealthy items. So there is a huge problem in America, and the problem is that there is obesity and overweight in America. Although it's not the people's fault that all of the bad foods are so cheap, and that's why people gravitate towards the junky items. For example, a McDonald's cheeseburger is $1, while a healthier item like a sandwich or a salad is $7 to $8. So because these foods are so cheap, that's why people buy more of the unhealthy items, because it's, oh, I have a family of 5 to feed really quick, I'm just gonna get 5 McDonald's cheeseburgers instead of spending so much money on the healthier alternative. Researcher Barry Popkin found out that if you take a country like the US, 33 to 57% of the calories adolescents take in is from junk food. This is one, because of how addicting it is, and two, because of how cheap it is. And if these foods were more expensive, then they would buy less of it. The World Health Organization has reported that 1.9 billion adults worldwide were overweight, and in 2016, 650 million are obese. The more obese and overweight people are, the more problems there are going to be mentally, physically, and health-wise. Most people will call out of work or not work at all, and the more illnesses and diseases they are going to have, like heart diseases or diabetes, or even social problems like social anxiety or depression. And this is one, bad for the economy because people will not be going into work, and two, it will hurt the people in general, mentally and physically. They will have more problems. The solution to this obesity problem is a tax on certain junk foods. People lean towards these junk foods because they are cheaper, but if there's a tax on certain unhealthy foods, it will hopefully bring people to choose healthier options. Some countries have already done this. This includes Mexico and Hungary, and they've seen results. Consumers of unhealthy food products responded to this tax by choosing a cheaper, often healthier product, consumed less of the unhealthy product, or changed to a different brand, often a healthier alternative. This shows that the tax does work, and it makes people buy either healthier options or less of the unhealthy foods. Some countries like Mexico or Hungary who have done it, there was a huge part of their country that was obese and overweight, and over time they have seen results. The American Journal of Public Health paper states that the Hungary's model works best because it considers the broader nutritional value and not just the calories in a food. Although Mexico's does work as well. It also has an impact on junk food manufacturers in Hungary. It causes 40% of them to retweak recipes so that they won't be taxed and make it a healthier item if they change the recipe. The Mexico junk food tax, people bought 7% less of the junk food than they would have if the tax hadn't been imposed. So in Mexico, the government created an 8% tax on high-calorie foods in an effort to deal with the increasing rates of obesity and diabetes. According to the law, non-essential foods include chips, salty items, snacks, and frozen desserts. The government has also implemented a 10% tax on sugary foods. So in the US, the tax will be placed on products high in saturated fats, trans fats, sugar, and salt, which include chips, candies, cakes, fried foods, etc. Although the fat tax will not alone change how people eat, there needs to be campaigns and programs. So in order to help people choose the healthier options, it should be combined with measures like subsidies and access to healthy food items, public health, education, campaigns, and programs. So this tax will decrease the amount of overweight and obese people, but campaigns and programs would help also and teach people a better way to eat. If people had help and saw that junk foods really are bad for you and it isn't the most best option for you and isn't that cheap anymore, it will help people buy the healthier alternative. So America's obesity rate is growing, and this brings a lot of problems. It causes people to have health problems, and it hurts the economy. Most obese people do not leave their house, which means that they don't work, which means they will hurt the economy. And a solution to the obesity and overweight problem is to add a tax on unhealthy and processed foods. So for my two questions, one, what group or party will be against this act? I think the low income community will be hurt the most and not want it to be imposed because they are the ones that buy the cheapest items, and these cheap items are the bad foods, and they probably won't want the tax to be imposed so that it will make it more expensive. But if it is imposed, then they will buy less of the unhealthy items, more healthy items, and not spend a difference because they'll just buy less and they won't be overweight. And then secondly, how much will the tax be in order for it to make a difference? So the tax will be around 10 to 20% tax on these foods, and in order for anything to happen, it needs to be 10 to 20%, and hopefully in the future it will decrease 4% at a time and then continue to grow, and hopefully the rate will continue to decrease.